Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the Bit Games tutorial. Our subject today is Super Mario Brothers because it's 40 years anniversary of Super Mario Brothers, and I wanted to try if I could make this Super Mario Brothers 3 bonus game in NES Maker. But let's first look what it is all about. Start the game. Okay, as you may know, the bonus stage is over here. After we beat first two levels, we can get there. But I thought it's maybe would be more fun that I don't show my excellent speedrunning skills, but instead we hack a little. You know, NES games are always ones and zeros, and every data is accessible via the Messen emulator debugger window. So let's just pick some value here and press F1 key, and it opens this memory tools window, and then we can look. Here's a lot of different data, but in this case, luckily, the interesting part happens at the first page. And when we move Mario here, you can see this is looking suspicious. What if we change this number? Oh, look. Now we're here. How about the consoles? They still work. And voila, we are here. This is the bonus game I was talking about. The main goal is to get all the images line up, so you get the star or the fire flower or a mushroom as a reward, and 1-ups for the prize. But there is some technical difficulties for making this in NES Maker, because NES Maker doesn't support this raster line scan line scroll so often. I can show. Let's start Lua script here. So you can see these green lines indicate where the scroll changes. And here's the one section that scrolls to the left, middle section scrolls to the right, and the bottom sections go to the left. We can make this a little bit more simple, because we cannot do so many scroll changes per screen. We can possibly do 3 different kind of scrolling. One is the Sprite Zero Hit. Ow! When we place a sprite 0, and then we can scroll the top part to another direction and the middle part to another. But then we need something called DMC IRQ for the bottom part. And then we can make 3 independently scrolling backgrounds in NES Maker 2. Okay, let's start. Let's go over here. I have scrapped some graphics for you if you want to try this yourself too. They are just 2 nametables and this extra tables worth of background data. You have to choose double main, no HUD, and these graphics. Also, I may put a link where you can download the whole map like this you go to the map settings, import both maps and select yes, and import this file, so magically you get these screens over here. Important thing is this is just a demo or some kind of technical showcase. Player needs to be in this screen, and this screen needs to be the high-res screen. So you have to change that. Probably before importing, go to Advanced Map Properties, select row 6 and 7, and convert them into high resolution mode. Because the background graphics, they wouldn't be possible if it wouldn't be 8x8 tiles. Okay. Then, at first, we need a Sprite Zero Hit. Ow! And what that means, we need to draw a sprite in basically anywhere, but it has to be the first sprite that the NES sees. And a good place to draw the first sprite would be to Sprite pre-draw. It's in routines and subroutines and over here. Depending a bit about your project structure, this may be different kind of name, or your module what you're using. This is Metroidvania module, by the way. Just try to figure out if I could make some bottom HUD with this technique also, and that's why I built it on Metroidvania module, but it should work on every module, maybe with some modifications. Okay, as you can see, we draw the sprite. Sprite index is E0. That's not. It could be anything, but this is important. This is SpriteZeroY. This is the location where we want to split the first screen. And as you can see, it's number 80. This is in decimal. So the first time the screen splits, it's around scan line 80 or something like here maybe. Okay, and we need a variable for that, so we can easily change and find the perfect spot for it. Okay, let's go to NMI. Here's the place where all the magic happens. Right, if you haven't modified it, it's right before the skip NMI stuff. So here and here's the new code part. I go through it. I'm not an expert with this NES architecture. I don't understand everything what happens here, but I think I have learned enough that I can maybe understand something enough to tell you a bit how this system works. So we start by finding the correct name table. As you know, NES has two name tables. It's better that I start the final product and show you. Alright, here. And here is the PPU viewer and the name tables. Here is the left name table and the right name table. And as we are scrolling the camera, this is the camera that goes to the right. It's a camera for the top part of the yes, the top part. And if we change the scan line, we can look another camera. It was something like 80 something. Here is now we have the middle part camera. It's scan line 95, a little bit area maybe. It's scan line yeah, 94 is the first scan line where this camera is active. And that means that we have came from here to scan line 94 and we have reached the Sprite Zero Hit somewhere. And after that we change the scroll direction to another direction. This was the first one and this was the second one. And when we change the scroll, when the camera reaches the left part, the camera has values from 0 to FF. But if camera goes from FF right here to 0, then it would suddenly transport to 0 back again, and then there would be a jump in camera. So we need to tell it that you have to update the camera in the correct name table. And that's the most trickiest part in this, because these are two name tables worth of graphics that are looping, and we need to handle the camera and to show it in the right name table, the correct name table at the correct time in each of these scrolling things. So that's basically what we are doing here. We are getting the correct name table. Then this is double check. We check the register in the PPU that we have our own Sprite Zero in the correct scan line. It's maybe in your game you don't have Sprite Zero Hit in every screen, so in those screen it would crash if there wouldn't be any Sprite Zero and it couldn't be hit. So this is just a safety measure here. Then this is the actual code that scrolls the screen. We have this NES Maker COMX variable. We are using it for the top and bottom part. And NES always wants that we write the camera coordinates X and Y to register 2005. First X register, X coordinate and then Y coordinate. Even though we don't need to update the Y coordinate, we need to write twice to this register, or then otherwise it would crash. And here's also some logic around the getting the correct name table. It's chosen here. I don't fully understand what's here. It's a lot of trial and error with my code. Then we have the actual wait time for Sprite Zero. As you may know, Sprite Zero technique is a little bit slow technique because when I can see it, it's over here I think. Because all the time we are drawing, are waiting Sprite Zero is the time that the processor can't do anything else. It just waits, and only until here, when we reach the Sprite Zero, we release the processor to do some other task. So we are losing a lot of time per frame here to just make this scroll happen. But like for a small game tech demo like this, it doesn't really matter. Here's plenty of time to do some other code for this kind of project. Okay, we are waiting, and here the Sprite Zero finally hits.
Yippee!
This code I don't understand. It just sits there. I don't know if that's maybe this could be commented out. Just decrementing X. Where is the X? Anyway, that might be some error here. And then we turn on the screen and continue normally. This skip sprite zero check is for cases where you don't want to use sprite zero. So this is the top part of the screen from here to here. And then we have reached the middle part, which is the normal scrolling section without any effects. The top effect was Sprite Zero. This is the normal effects, what's happening here. And we need a variable MiddleX high and MiddleX. This is a similar variable to comX high, and this is to comX, but we need to separate variables for both of them. And when we have separate variables, we just store the MiddleX coordinate to same 205 address and the Y address also to 205, like we did here previously. Then we just check the correct name table and update it. And that's the NMI logic. Then we have to somewhere increase the X variable. It happens in main game loop. Over here. So right before jump main game loop, we load the MiddleX and compare it to 0. And then if it is not 0, we can go further and decrease the value by 4. But if it was, then we are probably some kind of seam between two name tables, as I showed before. And if we didn't change the high byte of the X value over here, the camera would jump to wrong place and it wouldn't scroll so smoothly. So how we do it, we just load the current value of MiddleX high and do an exclusive OR for the last or the first bit, and that flips the bit to 0 or 1, different than it was previously. And then we have to also make the same for the CamX. This is exactly the same code, just we are increasing it by 4 every frame, and also flipping the bit if it's on so-called name table seam over here. Alright, now we have our two first sections working, and this was previously the point where I thought that it would end. I could only split in one section of the frame in NES Maker because the mapper doesn't support the raster effects. In raster effects you can split it basically in like every other scanline if you wish, and make some effects like in Rad Racer you can see the road curves. Not in like my EV cruising game, if you have played it. It doesn't support any of these effects, so the line is straight to the end. Yeah. But here is the new thing. This is called DMC IRQ, and it has something to do with the NES sound chip, because it uses the sound channel to send a silent sound, and it can detect how long the sound plays and then launch an interrupt where we can change the screen scroll again. Okay, probably didn't make it any more what should I, how can I say? I don't know. Maybe you understand it now when I show it. It's the first thing you have to do is to get into your reset routine and write the last lines. You have to write these bits to register 4010 and then write this CLI. Don't ask what these do, it's just some kind of enabling the DMC or IRQ. Actually, I think IRQ is in vectors file. You just have to write this .dw IRQ here. And here's some cool thing about the NES Maker vectors. You see these numbers over here. I don't know if Joe Granato watches this, maybe you have some kind of explanation what these numbers are, but they actually map really well to NES Maker letters. The first letter was E7, it's N. DE was E and EC, and you can see where this is going. This actual code spells NES Maker in Vectors.asm. Maybe it has some kind of purpose, I don't know, but it could rather be also commented out. Oh, and it works, I think, at least. Then you need to have something to play, and this has to be in the fixed bank. So easiest way to put your sample data is to assign banks.asm and just make a new label called sample data and put this .byte and loads of zeros over there. Then when we have now we have this sample, then we have to make the IRQ for the so what happens when the music reaches a certain spot. This is the place where the update for the scrolls happen. This chunk of code could basically be anywhere, but I just put it after the main loop. Just be sure that this code isn't inside the main loop. It has to be unreachable. Only that you when the IRQ happens, it jumps to this address that has the 3 letters IRQ in it. Okay, and when it happens, we just save our accumulator. Maybe you can save some other things too. This is just a demo. You maybe need to store X and Y and your maybe some variables, because this can happen in maybe in between in your code or something. This can happen instantly. You don't know that if you are using especially here if I'm using A here, so it might corrupt the A when it returns from the interrupt to normal code. This code doesn't use any other than A, so it's not necessary to have any other. But if you use X or Y inside the IRQ, you have to also push X and Y registers to the stack, and remember to get them out afterwards. Okay, at first we disable the IRQ by doing this code. Don't know what it does, some kind of specific logic for that. Then exactly the same way we load the CamX value and store it to 2005. This is where the scrolling happens. Then we check against the high byte that which name table we want for this row. Then we are ready. Just now when we are in interrupt, we have to return from interrupt instead of return from subroutine. So that's why it's RTY over here. Okay. Oh, actually, I forgot something. Here is because we are using 8x8 screens. We need to make NES Maker load them. At the beginning, NES Maker only loads for one name table in 8x8 screens. So we need to go to doLoadScreen and add these there as well. Let's see. Here's the first part. It just checks the name table here and everything that it needs, and then it runs this macro that does the work for updating name table. Here I didn't make this code so it would work in every base. There's a lot of hard-coded numbers, especially here, hard-coded numbers for name tables and stuff, so it would only work in this screen. X is 1, Y is 6 over here. This here, and it needs the looping screen to be to the left. This could be changed quite easily, I think, but I didn't see the purpose why to do that. The DMC sample needs this code also. I just put it over here at the top. We need first to disable the DMC and then load the sample data and store it in this address. And then we have two variables. First one is called DMC length. They are also here. You have to add these if you want to use this. DMC variables, and this define the length and frequency of the silent sound that plays, and when the idea is that when the sample has stopped playing, we launch an IRQ. And here we just start the DMC again. Okay, so quick recap. First you need Sprite Zero, make it over here, then check all the Sprite Zero things, check the name table and stuff over here. For the DMC IRQ you need to have this reset routine over here. You have to make the sample data over here and have the IRQ routine over here, and also add this IRQ to the vectors. For the 8x8 screens to show up at the first place, you need to add these two things. This doesn't add the collision data. If you need it, you'd have to add it too. It only adds the attribute data and the name tables. But now that we have this over here, we can maybe play a little with it. What if we change these values? SpriteZeroY is over here. We can change it to something like a smaller number, and as you can see, it moves up and down. Like this. So see length first. You cannot. It is actually quite rough how these things change the scan. I mean the scroll. If we slow the game a bit, you can see it's wobbling a lot here because it's not precise. You have to take this into account. If this would be some kind of HUD for player or something, you maybe would need some black tiles to hide this wobbling. And if we just change this, here it is more noticeable. But basically, these are the places where we can place this. And also this number, but this is not so useful. Usually one has the best results, I think. Okay, but let's reset this. I think this covers most of the things about this split scrolling example. There's no game yet, but ideally it would need some logic that when player press a button, this row would stop, and you have to match the second row with this next one. You can try to match it manually, like, oh, too fast. Oh, it's difficult. Let's cheat a little. Get. Oh, and here we are. This is this is a wrong place. Oh, no, not again. Now we have something. Okay, but as I said, I'm not an expert with this code, so I may not be able to answer your questions about this. And if you are an expert and you have found some kind of mistake in my tutorial, please let me know in the comments. And otherwise, that's it, and have fun. Mario 40 years anniversary. You all NES makers. Bye bye.
Ow!